This is the Orca 115V spear gun, and the first time I used it, I knew I had to have one. I have been receiving a lot of messages lately regarding this spear gun, so I thought I would make this video to show you a little bit more about it and how it works. Full disclosure, I am part of the Orca team, meaning I did not pay for this spear gun, so take of that what you will for this review. But I will say, if I lost it, I would buy another one again tomorrow. The first time I used this spear gun was in Spain with the manufacturer of these particular spear guns, Pablo. And when I was there, I had my 100 regular conventional Orca, but the water was quite clean and not ideally suited to the 100, so he lent me his for the day, and I fell in love. The first time I pulled the trigger on this spear gun was on a gold blotch groper, and I was astounded by how little recoil it had and how fast the shaft traveled to the fish.
This gun is not real. It's insanity. Ciao!
I also shot a few other fish like this big sargo here. Now this is quite a difficult shot to shoot from behind, but I managed to put the spear in, very small target, and the shaft arrived there very quickly. Of course, the other fish I shot with this spear gun was my very first dentex. Let me get this rant out of the way now. There are some roller gun manufacturers out there claiming that roller guns have no recoil. This is absolute rubbish. I guarantee none of those manufacturers would load up their roller guns, put the butt of the gun on their front teeth, and pull the trigger. Because why? They have recoil. To say that they have no recoil is really misleading. Yes, it's less than a conventional spear gun, but it's not nothing. There is still some recoil. There are so many flavors of roller guns out there on the market at the moment, but I think most people call this an inverted roller or a vela roller. It has the bands underneath, the pulley, and the rollers at the front. The Orca is made entirely of carbon fiber and stainless steel componentry, ceramic rollers, and the Hermes double roller mechanism. This mechanism is smooth as butter. The shaft setup I'm using at the moment is a 135 centimeter long shaft, 7.5 millimeters in diameter. I've also got mine set up with a reel, but you can easily remove this if you want to use the spear gun for more blue water style with a breakaway rig. It also features a ballast pocket up near the muzzle where you can add or remove lead to get it balanced exactly how you like it, with various shaft thicknesses and overhang lengths. It has 3 bands here on the bottom, and loading the first band is really easy because it goes through this pulley here, which essentially means it's a 2-to-1 block and tackle system, so the effort required to load the first set of bands is halved. To start loading this spear gun, you start with only the center set of bands connected to the anchor point here, and then you load from the front, pulling this bridle down here to your notch on the spear gun. You can see that it's quite easy to pull thanks to the 2-to-1 pulley system, so you can see it moving along like that. Once you hook that down there, then you load the subsequent bands. Simply flip the gun upside down and load the remaining 2 pairs. Yes, this takes more time to load than a traditional spear gun, but you get used to it after loading it a few times. I could be wrong with my physics, but the way I understand it is with this block and tackle that is a 2-to-1 pulley system, the shaft is propelled at twice the speed that these bands contract. I'm sure someone in the comments could explain this phenomenon better than me, or maybe correct me, but that is how I understand that this shoots the shaft like a thunderbolt. The first thing you'll notice when you load a spear gun like this is the clear line of sight down the barrel, because the only thing on top will be these 2 bits of rope here that go down to the shaft. Personally, I find this really easy to aim because I can see the entire way down the shaft to the fish. So what did I want this spear gun for? That is an easy question. The Mediterranean. The ability to shoot long distances with a really fast shaft is very useful on fish like dentex. I'm almost certain I would have speared a dentex here on this dive had I had the 115V in my hands at the time, because I was using a 7.5mm shaft on my 100 gun, which is quite slow, so it gave the fish enough time to react. I can't explain how fast fish move in the Mediterranean. They dodge spears. Your shot has to be super fast to hit these fish. I have some videos coming out soon on my channel where I go to Greece in January, in winter, with world champion and Italian champion Giacomo De Mola. It's always easy to shoot fish in Greece, isn't it, Giacomo?
Not so much.
We're chasing all sorts of Mediterranean fish, and I get to take this along with me, shoot some fish, including this dentex. If I was ever in a position again to go target dogtooth tuna, I would have no problems using this with an 8mm shaft and a breakaway rig. Maybe even go for the 125 version of this, or the new 140 version, which is an absolute beast of a spear gun, but that's another video. In Australia, I can see myself using this spear gun for species like snapper, or if I'm doing deeper drops on isolated rocks, trying to punch through thick reef fish like red emperor, I would probably take this one down on a rig line. So who is this spear gun for? Well, I would say anybody that wants to chase flighty reef species in clean water where you need a fast shot, or some light blue water hunting such as Spanish mackerel, wahoo, or mahi-mahi. Above all, remember that spear guns are just a tool. They're like golf clubs. You have to have a different one for different situations. You don't use a putter to hit a 400-yard drive. Similarly, you don't use a 3-wood on the green. This spear gun, probably not your ideal hole hunting spear gun. Just like a 70cm single-banded gun, great in holes, probably not ideal for shooting a marlin. So just keep that in mind. This is a tool, it has a specific job. So if that fits your needs, you can check the full range out at this website here, fusilsorca.com. If you like this video or you got something out of it, please give it a thumbs up. It actually makes a difference. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you on the next one.